thing.
I'm recording now too, just so everybody knows, just to be sure. Yeah, it's been really, really shaky here. And there's Miss Frankie.
Hello, how's everybody?
Awesome. How are you tonight, Frankie?
You know what? I have been a little bit under the weather. I've got a few health issues going on, so hadn't been feeling my best over the last couple of weeks, but I'm happy to be here tonight.
Well, you look.
And we're happy you're here too.
Yes. Yes.
I at first I said I'm just going to stay in the background. I'm not going to put my makeup on. I didn't really want to do that, but then I said maybe I should do that.
Yeah, sometimes it really makes you feel better. You know?
Yeah.
It really does. It was really kind of funny because I was telling Judy that I really didn't go to bed last night. I just took a nap this morning about 6 a.m. because I was working. And then if anybody caught my lives, multiple ones that I was struggling with because of my connection. But I did have a successful live today. I was still in the same clothes that I did the live in before, my hair's all a mess and everything like that. But you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's interesting you say that, Terri, that you were in the same clothes as you did the last live.
I was going to say we would never have known.
No, I was talking about this a while ago. We worry about what we've got on, whether we've got makeup on, if we look right, all this sort of stuff before we even start a live. But when I think about the lives that I've watched of other people's, and then I say, oh, well, so-and-so did a live the other day, and I think, now what did she have on? What I can't remember. All I remember is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So I think we have to remember that, like, I don't have makeup on.
Exactly.
Does that mean that you don't notice when I put on my makeup?
No, I only listen to what you say, Jean.
Gotcha.
Exactly. I know. And that's the way I have to approach it. I just don't worry too much about it. But I'll tell you what, after I did get, through some of it and had about an hour ago. Now, mainly just because I wanted just the relief of it, I headed to that shower and I took a nice long shower because I knew I wasn't going to make it through tonight's training if I didn't get revived. And so I really did change my clothes. But yeah, but you look lovely, Frankie. You don't look like you don't feel well. So that we're going to send you positive vibes and energy, and hopefully you'll feel well. Yeah. Yes. Well, let's see. I don't know how many people we'll have tonight, but it is 8 o'clock. I haven't checked the groups yet. Maybe I should do that, huh? Let me go over here and see if we are live. I was just yakking away. I think I closed the wrong window. Oh, let me see. Oh. Yes. Oh, come on. And is it? Come on. Barely creeping my internet. I hope this doesn't bode for a difficult evening. Well, we'll see. We'll just have to see. Still not live. Can you tell if we're live? No, I guess not. We aren't.
No, it's not. I click go live and it's not working for me.
Not working for me.
As I said, good thing we're just recording it, so
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
We'll upload it to YouTube later.
Okay, I guess it's not gonna. If it's not gonna go live, we'll just have to do it that way. That'll work. Oh, all right. Well, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for a wild ride on the wild side with Grandma tonight? Because Grandma's feeling a little bit crazy. And I decided what I was going to do was approach this training a little bit differently than I've always done it, because I want to take you behind the curtain and behind the scenes about how I approach and how I work through the process of a project like this, like taking apart a PLR. I think this is a great, I don't know if you guys think so, I think this is a great series where we take the PLR that Shelley dove into last week, and then we're going to do a funnel this week, and then Jean will come back in and talk about affiliatizing it next week. But I got to thinking about it, and there's a lot to cover. There is a lot to build out when you think about building all of a funnel in one night. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to build it all. I went ahead and built the funnel, but I thought I'd give you an inside peek about the process that I went through. And it doesn't have to be your process. It's just the one that works for me and the way I break it down. And then that way, as you're looking at projects like that, you can take ideas or approach it this way if you like or not. I'm also, instead of like doing a slide presentation like I normally do, where I spent the time and effort to do slides, I'm just going to take you back into my project management software and actually show you task by task how I organize my information. It's really important, I think, when you start looking at these kinds of projects. The first few times I built big projects like this, or products or product launches or a website or anything like that, I learned so much just by the doing, and this process has evolved over time. And of course, I've learned so much from Shelley and working with the team. Right now, we've been through several different iterations of project management software. And I'm not saying that what I'm going to show you tonight, what I'm going to show you is mine. The one I'm using is ClickUp. Hey, everyone. Welcome, everyone. It's good to see everybody bopping in here. But what I want to say is, it really doesn't, I don't want to say that you need to use this project management software. I just want you to pay attention about how to think about breaking the process down and approaching it from a project standpoint like that, to save yourself time and a lot of confusion in the long run. So rather than a slide presentation, you're going to get to see back into my back office, all the nerdy details. Does that sound like a good idea to you guys? What do you think? You like that? I knew Terri would like it. Look at him grinning already. All right. Well, pardon me. Let's see. Where shall we start? Let me go ahead and pull up the correct window and make sure I've got it open on the right one. Yeah, it's this one. And I'm going to share my screen. And let's see. There. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Oh, no, you should be saying, do you see that? How to use a PLR to build a funnel with Builderall? All right, good. Now, like I said, this is just an app called ClickUp, that we're using as a team. And we've used several different ones along the way. I'm not promoting a particular software app or anything, although I am learning to love this one the more I get to using it. And I'm not a power user in it yet. It's been a learning process for me as well. But you'll at least be able to see how you break down the process. And Shelley gave us found that wonderful PLR on Speaking with Confidence. And that's the one that we're building the funnel on. And the reason I really want to hit this hard is because I want to spend more time about showing you the process and the importance of testing. And this is a way to keep track of a lot of this stuff. And you'll see another advantage of using a software or something like this is that it also makes you accountable for your time, and you can track your time. You can track hours, you can track, and I can look back now. I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't use some kind of assistance or help. I built this funnel in 2 days. And the email sequences and the graphics and all of that in just 48 hours. And I know that's true because I started this task. This is a task, how to use a PLR to build a funnel. It's in a category of Tuesday night training. You can see it right there. And I started it just on November 14th. So that's one of the biggest advantages that I want to stress to you is if you get, just find something, experiment, find something you like and play with it. If you don't like it, move on, get something else that works for you and develop the process. And the first step in the process is, of course, Shelley handed off the funnel to me. And I took, the PLR, and I took a look at the PLR. And I decided on the type of funnel that we were going to build. And that is the first subtask I have right here. So I can click right on my subtask and it's going to pull up. I'm going to show you the blueprint of the funnel that we're talking about tonight. We're going to start with an opt-in page, our lead magnet right here, 21 surefire speaking tips. It's connected to a form and it goes to a confirm email page. And then the thank you page of that, after they confirm their email, drives them to the Speak with Confidence ebook. This is the first sales page that we're going to counter in this funnel. And remember when we talked about this place in the funnel, this is a lower entry. It's not where we're going to make most of our money. But it's an easy, something easy to buy. It's just such a great deal. It makes people want to buy and gets them set into a buying mode. So we have a low-end product here, Speak with Confidence ebook for $7. So they go to the checkout page, and then the thank you page for that is our OTO1, our first one-time offer, which is the upsell into our main core product. And that's our deluxe e-learning course for $97. There they have a chance to buy the e-learning course. If they don't buy it, they are directed to a downsell over here, which is an audio only page for $27. If they opt in and buy as a buyer of the deluxe e-learning course, the thank you page will take them to one more OTO, OTO2, one-time offer 2 for the resale rights, where they get lifetime resale rights for the very same funnel and material that we're building right now. For, I think I had it priced at $147. And all of these, we have a thank you page, of course, where we're going to deliver this, we can deliver this surefire speaking tips as well as in the email, in that first email. The rest of the products are delivered by email. So you're not having to build delivery download pages for each one of them. It's a really easy funnel that way too. So that's the funnel, that's the blueprint. And I did this right in, when I built this website, I did this just exactly like here, saved it and generated the site specifically for this funnel right in the funnel builder. So that is the funnel we're going to look at. Now, does anybody have, let me ask you, anybody got any questions or comments about the funnel that we're going to work on right here before we go any further? I guess not. All right. Now let's go back into the.
Sorry, Terry, before you go ahead, that funnel builder, you put up there all the different pages that we need. And then up the site, you said save and generate the site. So when it generates the site, all those pages will be there.
Yes.
Is that right? Oh, I love it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now, when I went in here for the presentation, you know, like I because you can do that, which is great for agencies. Notice you can spip up a blueprint by importing the images for the pages and making it look a lot prettier. I just kind of tried to give you a little taste of that as well, which is superb for anybody with an agency. If you're building sites for people, you can print it out, send them a copy of it, and it really looks professional that way too. But that's exactly how I built this. I generated the site through the funnel builder. Now, I did make some alterations on the pages and switched them around, of course, not just customizing design, but the way it was structured a bit once I built the site. But by generating the site, you know, I just saved myself a lot of time. I really did. Any other questions right now about the funnel structure itself? Because remember when we, I don't know if you had a chance to look at that funnel. I'm going to leave you with a document that has the links of all of these pages so you can see what's in it as well. But when I pulled it apart, there were two PLR products. There was the regular version, the ebook version, and then the gold version, remember. And there was a lot of really cool stuff in that gold version. We'll take a look at it here in a little bit. And I used it, I put it to good use, but I used it in a little different way than what probably was intended by the creator of the PLR. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And this time I'm going to, let's see. Let's go back over here to the next step. We've got our blueprint now. Now remember, as we're thinking about, I'm going to go back up here and go to this main task, the how to use the funnel. All right, so the next step in the process then is my next subtask in my project management. So if we click on that, and here you're going to be able to see the pages that I created when I generated the pages. It generated this opt-in page, all of the other pages. And this is the site that we're going to be looking at. Now, I went ahead and filled in the share images. I made a comment, I think yesterday, maybe in my live. One of the things that I am bad about is putting off creating share images. Or I cheat. I use the same share image for every page of the website. And that might work on a lot of the pages in your website, but remember that share image is an image that is shown when somebody shares the link to that page. So you want to be mindful of what the kind of content that is going on these share images when you load them into your Cheetah Builder about, is this what I intended to do? Is this how I want to brand my message with this share image? So it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be something unique or branded with your company or anything like that, like this first image, but it tells a story about public speaking. Now, as far as the rest of the pages here, I just quickly made some images to, I'll be honest with you, make it very easy for me to look at this on the page on the screen right now, and I can tell exactly which page is which without having to read the fine print. So that was the choice for these share images. But there's nothing wrong with doing you know, a series of share images like this that just use and brand the message for your pages on those pages that are important, or on those pages that are likely to get shared somewhere by somebody else. So I just wanted to bring that up because I have a bad habit of just sometimes skipping over that and not, or putting it off and putting it off. So if you approach it and put it in your task list and you sit down and you make all those share images at once, then you can save a lot of time and you have more continuity of brand. So that's the reason I wanted to mention that. And let's go back next to the next step on our subtasks.
Excuse me, Terry,
Yes.
before you move further, I was moving around and I don't know if you had mentioned, but did you mention what tool or where you, or either what you use to create those share images?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of those are probably, yes, those purple ones were created in an app that I've had for years called Using. I got
Usign.
Usign, yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I bought, in fact, that's how I found Builderall. Usign was how I found Builderall.
Okay.
Somehow I got in when I found Usign. I was doing some training or something and somebody got my name and that's how I found Builderall. So yeah, I've had it forever. And there's a whole package. So I've been using it a long time and I use it a lot. In fact, I generally have it up on my Windows and it makes it really easy to save those templates. But you know, you can do it just as easily. You can go right to Canva and do it just as easily. If I'm not working in Usign, I'm working in Canva. And Usign just went through a lot of changes in their software and updates and stuff like that. And for a long time, it was really wonky. And I quit using it probably for about a year because it just wasn't, it was too frustrating for me. But it's back, you know, they've got it up and running and working really a lot better now. But between that and Canva, that's where I handle most of my graphics.
Thank you, because that's what Judy and I were using Usign. We have Canva, but we started out using Usign. I've had Usign since 2015, so I'm very glad to hear you say that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, they have a new one that just came out and I haven't had a chance to play with it yet too. It just launched today. It's augmented reality. But I don't know when I'm going to have a chance to play with that one. I don't know. All right, so let's go back in here and see the next step in our list. Okay, share. All right, so now we've already done the funnel blueprint and the cheetah pages. I showed you that. Okay, now remember, we're creating a funnel, so we have to have our products. So I put that next on the list because I really don't even want to go in there building pages and setting up and configuring until I have my products built. It doesn't really, that's just, it comes, the products come before selling the products. So that makes sense to me. And these are the products that we have in this funnel. We have the, let's see, we'll start down at the low end here. This is the ebook. And then we have the e-learning course at $47. We have the speaking with the downsell audio package at $27. And then the speaking with confidence deluxe resell. I need to change that. It should say resale, not resell. Right. On this product. And they're all set up the same. I'm only going to take you into Super Checkout and show you one of them here because they're all set up the same, only there's no need to do that. So let's go back into, let's see, do I have super checkout up yet? Oh, okay. Well, here we are in, you're seeing Cheetah now, right? Okay. Let's go over to super checkout. My eyes are a little bit blurry. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go. Yeah. No, I'm in the, there we go. Super checkout for this website. We'll go ahead and over here to my products. Pull it up here so you can see it. And let's just go ahead and I'll show you how I set this up, because you realize there are so many options about how you can set a product up in a funnel, but we're going to keep it really super simple with this one. So we're going to go in and take a look at the ebook. And of course, it's standard here. We've got the image was in the package with the PLRs. That was part of the package. Now I did create, I took part of some of the copy that they used and provided in the PLR. And then I worked it a little bit better to come up with your descriptions. And I did that on all the products, but some of that information came from the PLR. That's to let you know how much value is in a good PLR. Now we're going to go down here, and of course the pricing, I'm not going to go over this all like step by step, but I've got it connected right now to Stripe, and I've got it in a sandbox mode so we can test it. And I'm going to leave it in sandbox mode for a while and leave you guys with links so you can test going through it if you like. But this is I've only got it set up to Stripe right now. Let's see, what else do I want to show you back in here? I'm leaving the affiliation, of course, up to Jean, but let's take a look at the design of the sales funnel. I've chosen the new two-step page, checkout page. And then here we have the thank you upsell page. I've chosen those from the pages that I've generated with that, with the funnel builder. So I already know that the deluxe e-learning course, this is where I'm going to sell it. And the, no, down here is the URL. And this is the thank you page where they're going to be directed to. That's that upsell, the 0201. So remember, this is for the ebook. It's being sold on this page, and our thank you page is the OT01. Now, as far as the email campaigns go, I've connected it. We haven't gotten to that part of this is why I'm saying if you got to go in order, it'll save you time. I've already built my list, and I put my creating those lists before building the pages. So that's why I'm, like you want to get them in the right order or the best order possible if you really want to save time and churn these things out, which is possible. Think about it. This is 48 hours and I can have a really nice funnel up. Let's see. That's about all. They're all set up pretty much the same. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in super checkout and going over that. Let's head back over here to the
Excuse me, Terri.
Sure.
I have another question. Some of these questions I'm asking because there are going to be some new beginners watching this.
Yeah.
When you were mentioning about you have to have the proper setup, is that some type of blueprint or some type of understanding that you go by to know what step to take that is the proper order?
Well, that's why I'm giving it to you this way tonight. That's exactly why I wanted to take you behind the scenes and show you exactly my task list. And your list may be different than mine. You may work in a different order, in a different way. We are all very different. We all approach projects differently. But I know for me, and I've been doing it now a couple years, and as I've put more and more trainings together, more and more websites together, larger projects, I'm getting a better feel of it. And this right now is where my process stands on building a funnel. It could change at any moment, but that's the wonderful thing that I really love about this. Because here, let me go back in and share my screen again. We're going to go back over here and.
So in other words, what you're saying, what you just told me, and what commuted in my brain, I get what you're saying because I do understand. But again, in the future, I will be using this as a training video. So you're saying if a beginner can watch this video and go step by step, note step by step what you're showing, that can be their guide without them creating confusion for themselves.
Right. And that's I want to try to really leave you with a process that's flexible, but still to where you've got a map and a way to guide you through it so you don't get lost and you don't lose track of your resources. When you work in in a lot of these projects, you've got so many resources that are scattered out all over the place. If you're not organized and if you don't have a logical way of moving through the process, you can really get confused. And then that gets frustrated, especially when you're new. So yeah, and that's one I'm gonna make sure you have all of this information. You'll have the video, and that's one of the things that's nice about it. If you notice here, Terri, here down here, these are the subtasks of my one task, of course. And most of your, whether you're talking about smart task or ClickUp like this one is, or Trello, or there's all kinds of different project management softwares. It really doesn't matter. The great thing about it is we're all different. We do things differently and we need to be flexible. You can move these around really easily. If I decide the very first thing on my task that I need to do is start with the booking calendar, which it's not, it's the only thing I haven't gotten done on this list yet, I can shift it around and I can adjust it very easily. So play around with it. Don't get too wrapped up in perfection, but allow it to be a guide and a map on your journey, because it is a journey. It really is a journey. And every single project like this is a distinct journey of itself. And you'll come out learning more in the long run. I hope that helps anyway. Yeah. And Terri, if you ever really need any guidance, you just have to give a shout out and we got it. All right. So we covered our super checkout products. All right. Here are the Mailing Boss 5 lists. Now I put that high on the list of these subtasks because I want to create my lists before I create the emails, before I try to connect opt-in forms. All of these things are, require having the list. So go ahead and create them ahead of time. And let's see, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I did. For this project, I created 5 lists actually. The main list, the opt-in list, is the public speaking list. Now that is the only one that is connected to that original opt-in. The rest of these, the ebook list, the e-course list, the resale sale rights lists, and the audio lists, those are triggered by the super checkout. So now there's all kinds of ways that you can work with your list and in Mailing Boss and set it up. This isn't the only way you can do it. And right now, as we know, Mailing Boss is really in a lot of changes, but isn't it great? We can do this funnel in Mailing Boss 5. I couldn't do it in Workflow yet. I tried it and it just wasn't quite there yet, but I could go ahead and set it up easily. So I'm going to take you really, I don't want to spend a lot of time and do an intensive Mailing Boss training, but it's really easy to set those lists up. Here we are in Mailing Boss 5. And of course, all you have to do is come here to see lists on create a subscriber list. And it might take it off. Okay, there come our lists. And you can create a list right here. And when you do that, let's just go ahead and create a fake list real quick. We'll just, it's so easy. We'll just do a training test. We'll set it for double opt-in, single opt-out. We'll put a description in. This is super easy, and save it. Oh, come on, Mailing Boss, I know. There we go. And of course, that's going to take you right to the place where you're going to create your form. It's immediately you're going to be creating your forms. And it starts with the default form here. So all you have is the email, and that's required, of course, and the first name. Now you can just like on this opt-in, and most of my opt-ins, I just like Shelley, like that first name at the top. I'll come over here. I'll also add first name over here on the right-hand side to the label field, because I'm going to add a last name field. So I'm going to change the label on the first name field, and I'm going to make it required. Now I'm going to add another text field. I can also, I've already made several fields and set these a certain way. So I can also go to my fields, and you see I've got several different fields that I've created on previous forms. I can pull one of these in, or I can just use a simple text field and set the last name field up here, just like this, just come in, pull it in, and you put in the tag, the L name tag, but we're not going to do that. I wanted to show you that you can, oh, come on. There we go. I didn't want two of them in there. You can save your fields, which is going to save you a lot of time. I'm loving Mailbox MB5. I really am. So here's my last name field. So I'm going to pull it in, and I'm going to put it right underneath that first name. It's already got the tag in there. It's already got the field label name in there, and it's already set to be required. So once if you have a specific way you like your fields and your default forms and all your forms set up, go ahead and pull those in from your My Field area. And then you don't have to do that repetitively. So once you get your form set up, you're just going to update it. And it's been updated the list successfully. All right, so now we've got our training test list right down there. So I just wanted to show you that it's really easy to set those lists up. We're going to come back to Mailing Boss when we talk about our campaigns and our emails as well. But that's how easy it is to set up those lists manually. All right, so now let's go back to our, I'm flying through a lot of this. Our next subtask on this project, all right, is the email sequences. We haven't even built a page yet, you guys. Isn't that something? We haven't even built a page yet. We're talking about emails. But keep that in mind. You can put it afterwards. You can add these afterwards as well. But since we were talking about Mailing Boss, I wanted to show you about the email sequences. Now, I better look at your faces. Don't get scared. I want everybody to be calm, take a big, deep breath. But when you start talking about launching a funnel, and you're talking about several different offers in a funnel, and you're going to do it effectively, you have to have a lot of emails. You have to have these campaigns mapped out. So I'm going to show you, and this is just a bare minimum one. I can imagine. You should see what Frank has to deal with. It's crazy. But I've learned a lot from Frank because, like I get to read a lot of his work and do a lot of the editing on it. So, we've come up with a really great process about how we pass that work between us. And I've learned a lot from him. Now you're probably you hope to be in the same position. You've got so much going on. You're going to have to pass off all of this editing and copy reading, proofreading your copy, because all of that has to be done. That's an important part. I cannot stress it. It's one thing to build something, but until you test it and refine it and test it and refine it and test it and refine it, you've only built something. So let's just get better and better. And this is one of the ways that we can do that. Now we just use Google Docs. You can do whatever kind of system you want, but I'm going to share with you the emails I put together that's going to be in this funnel that you'll have access to. Take them, steal the swipes, revamp them, use them. I encourage you to do that. Let's see. Let me show you how I've organized that at the moment. Nope. So here we are, and I've got on my task board, this time I have a Google Doc link to it. So it's going to pop it open. And I have 20, the name of it is 24 Surefire Speaking Tips Report Email Sequence. Remember, we only have one opt-in form really to start this funnel off. So I put them all in this one document. And I didn't do as many as I originally intended, but we've got your email for the opt-in. This is just the opt-in for that free report. It's only going to get a lead for us. Email 1, they've opted in. It's going to tell them how to, there's a download link. We'll go to the emails live so you can see it in the email. So they're going to get that downloaded there, as well as be redirected to that thank you page. Then after we go through there, the next day, what I found was a challenge for a public speaking challenge, a 5-day public speaking challenge. Now, this was another PLR that I found, and I revamped it and used it instead of a 5-day email challenge. I stole those emails, revamped them, and kind of married it with this product. So I've got emails and great content to send for 5 days just on this lead magnet. Because on this point in the relationship, we're trying to warm this prospect, this lead up, to know that we know what we're talking about, and we're giving them value before we try to sell them too much. We really want to make sure that they're getting value. So there's 5 days of emails going out just on the lead magnet. And there are those emails. You can see I just have them in a Google Doc, and each email has, well, why am I scrolling backwards? It has the subject line and the identifier. This is great if you're working with a virtual assistant or working with a team. It's very clear that way. Now we've got those 7 emails just on that campaign, just on that opt-in. We also have an email for the buyer for the ebook. So we've got an buyer for the ebook. We've got to send them an email to deliver their product, as well as for the e-learning course. Let's see, we'll scroll down here. The master resale rights. And to tell you the truth, I really wanted to do non-buyer emails too. And as I revise this and start to use it for myself, I will. But I just ran out of time in the 48 hours I've been working on this. You can kind of get an idea of the kind of planning it takes to do a complete email campaign. And that's a great way to keep it organized, rather than going back into Mailing Boss and sitting down and trying to sit there and write that one email in the editor. It's much more, you'll be more productive if you sit down with a one single document and just write them one after another. It'll be easier for you to get it edited properly and keep it really clear and focused and consistent too. So I really wanted to include that in this. Any questions so far, you guys? I'm going through a lot of stuff. All right. So let's go on. We got a lot to do yet. A lot to do. So we covered our email sequences. Next thing on my list before I started building pages, I wanted to think about my global header and footers. Now I made a decision. I wasn't going to use a global header on these pages. I was just going to go with footers. And the reason, my logic and strategy about that was, the first thing I want them to see on their eyes on the page is my copywriting. I know I'm not really, at that point, I'm not really branding my business. I'm just focusing on the copy. So I didn't put a header on the top. I put it all at the bottom in the footer. That's where all of my branding stuff and everything that's I consider important that I want them to have on each page is going to be. So I went ahead and created that global footer. And let's take a look. I'll show you what it looks like, just so you'll know. I'm not going to show you how to make one. You guys know how to make one. Most of you do. And if you don't, we've got lots of training. Did I take a picture? Maybe I didn't take a picture. Oh, no, I didn't. It's all right. You'll see it on all the pages. All right, now we can finally get into the pages. We've got our global footer. We've got our emails. We know we've got all of the content or resources as far as the ebook goes. So now it's just a matter of customizing the pages and branding them to ourselves and then configuring them. So we're going to take a look at each one of these pages, and I'll try to cover as much of the config. I think I can cover all of the, let's just go over here. The configuration, so we can test this too. Let's see, how am I doing on time? That's all right. All right, now here we are back in the Cheetah Builder. Let's take a look at that first page. This is our opt-in page. Now
You're not sharing, Terri.
Yeah. Oh, of course I'm not. Thank you. Now I am. Oh, yes, take another sip of my energy drink. I'm going to be honest. It's energy drink. I haven't had any sleep. That's all right though. Grandma's going to sleep like a baby tonight. So here's our very first page of the funnel. Let's go to it live and take a look at it live first. Oh, I guess I was taking images of it, so I had it. All right. Shrunk down. All right, here's the very, very, very simple page. In fact, I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. No, wait a minute, I don't need to do that. I can just move this. I think I can move this without. Yes, I can. Now I can see it. All right. Here's our opt-in page. And as you can see, it's just that simple opt-in we did. We've got the images right from the PLR. I even got some of the titles. I just took some of the titles right off of the HTML pages that they show you and they can give you. Only we can make the same page that they give you in the PLR, but we can make so much prettier pages. They're so pretty. I mean, the ones that you get in the PLRs are okay. They're functional, but I think ours are fresher when we can brand them the way we do in Builderall. And quite honestly, all I did when I was, let me go over here to Cheetah. And we'll go into the editor. Oh, come on, you can do it, Cheetah. Oh. All right, come on, almost. All right, all I did was just brand the color throughout most of it. I used this purple from this very first book to brand it with it. That's how I started. I just picked something and dove in and kept that brand color across all the pages. I want to also mention most of our panels and our templates use neutral text in the editor, which means that, you know, like all of these text boxes are generally neutral text, and you have lots of freedom. You can change them up. I wanted to make a point of using as much as possible my default text on this as well. Why? Because that's really better for a better optimized website. And it's a habit that if you get into the habit of going through the steps of setting those default texts at the beginning of your projects, then you're going to have a leaner web page, and it's just better for SEO and the way they're loaded. So just develop the habits and use it. I mean, it's great when you're in a hurry and you need to do something to use that neutral check and just make all those changes. But it's much easier to do your optimizing for mobile and across all your pages, and for many reasons, to get into the habit of using these default texts. And I think I used all of the styles in this website at some point. So this is your opt-in page. Oh, okay. The only thing, let me show, for those of you that are new, I'm sure this isn't everybody here, but it's really easy to configure this mailing boss form. The form that was in there, I just deleted it. I have found, I don't know whether it's true, but I have found it much easier, and I get a cleaner integration of my pages. If I go ahead and delete that form that comes in and bring in a form and set it and configure it, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me making it up in my head. But I just bring in a new form entirely and then set the list here. Since we've already made our lists already in Mailing Boss, it's really easy to find the list. And we've got that list here is the public speaking niche. And of course, you save it just the way you do all the other things. As far as that's setting the list. Now let's set the link. It's an important part. Don't forget, you still have to set the pages on these forms for your pending and your thank you page once they have confirmed. So we've got that set to the next step in the process. This is the confirm page that we've got in the website, and then this is the next step in the sales process. That's the ebook sales page, and save it. While we're back here, I want to take a quick look at each one of these pages so you can see what they look like in the editor. Next, let's go to that confirm email page because that's the next step in the process. The sales process, I should say. We've got all kinds of processes going here. But this is the next step in the sales process. I think I'm probably going to be better if I show you live sites, though. It may take it too long to load in the editor. Yeah.
Got a question real quick, Terry.
Sure.
I'm asking before I forget. Now, even though I wrote it down, I may forget to look at my notes. If a beginner wanted to stay within branded colors like you did, would you mind saying what tool you use to copy the color from that book, as you mentioned, to make sure that the other colors were branded to it?
I just have it in my, if you take a look up here in my, on my Chrome browser, I have a Chrome extension. It's called Eyedropper. That's the one I use. I've always got it open because I'm always doing something. And I really like this one so far. You can see you can pick a color from a web page just by choosing it there. And I could come right over anywhere on this book, and it's going to pick up. If I want this lighter purple, I can hover it over and it'll pick that up and come back up here. And right there, it's got the hex codes as well as RGBs and all of that good stuff. And there's the last one that you look at down there too.
I do thank you so much because this is going to help beginners. Even when I speak of things, it's going to help them. So I thank you for showing where they get it from, how to use it, because it comes from Chrome. I really like that this training is being very informative because I understand exactly what you're doing step by step. And I'm looking at things as a beginner. I have not broken down a PLR product, but because of the way you're teaching it, it is not going to be an issue.
Well, that's good music to my ears, Terri. That is music to my ears. Good, good, good. Yes. Well, I'm really happy to share, and that's it. We're all in this together, and together we got this. All right. So that's your confirmation page. Really easy build. All I did was just like change the background color, bring in the image, copy and paste the text. I'm going to go ahead and close out of my editor and the editor portion. I'm just going to show you on the live pages what it looks like, just so it doesn't take so long to load. Now, one thing while I'm at it, I want to talk a little bit about this footer, the global footer that I chose. And of course, how you create your footers are entirely up to you. Now, I decided what I was going to do. This is just a basic footer panel that I brought in. I'm going to play around on a lot of my business footers. I'll put an opt-in form or something like that. On this one, I haven't added it yet. It's the one task I haven't gotten done on this project that I really wanted to get done. I want to add a button that will go to my booking calendar and offer 30-minute free consultation. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how that looks. But when I looked at this, when I designed this global footer, I kept in mind that this is where all my branding is on this funnel. I'm putting all of my branding down here. So what's important? I want to make sure that I have my, of course, information that legally I have to have, which is my location and how people can reach me. I wanted to put my face, because I want people to recognize me. I'm branding myself or my business and the logos. But I also wanted to point out here's a perfect place where I'm going to add that Builderall affiliate disclaimer in the footer on all these pages. Because even though in what I'm showing you here, right here tonight, I'm not selling Builderall or offering Builderall, I have every intention of affiliatizing that the high-end product with offers to sign up with a free account for Builderall. So I want to make sure I have that disclaimer anyway on all my pages. And I don't even look at it like a disclaimer. That's advertisement. It's disclaimer. I just want to make sure everybody knows that, yeah, I'm a proud Builderall affiliate. I want people to know it. So that's the reason I designed that footer this way on this project. On some projects, maybe I have all my attention in the header, and you'll find my footer is nothing but copyright and maybe a really thin line menu with legal pages on it. It just depends on where you want the focus to be. In this case, I want my branding at the bottom, and that's why I created it this way. So, all right, so that's that page. Now let's go back and look at the ebook page. All right, this is the first product. This is this irresistible product at an irresistible price, getting them in the mood to buy. So it's got a really reasonable price of $7. And when I chose that purple, I didn't know where I was going. When I looked at the cover of the book, it was brown. I thought, how am I going to make this work? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I went right back in to when I created this page. It had a blank panel. I went back into our digital file repository and pulled this image right from there. It's a free Builderall image. And, you know, it works. It'll work okay. I don't think it looks that bad at all. So all I did was pull in this top fold panel. I created it like this with a button. I got the copy from the PLR in the sales page information. I also got the bullet points from the sales letter page in the PLR, just copied and pasted it. I think I copied and pasted the titles too. So all of this was not a whole lot of creative work as far as trying to figure out what to say. I got all of that from that PLR, which I think is just amazing. All right, so there's our ebook, our $7 product. I have to turn my heat back on. It's getting cold in here. So from there, they're going to be directed there. If they buy, they're going to be directed to the next one, which is the core product, our $97 product, the deluxe e-learning. And this is delivered by email. So they get all of these lessons delivered by email. And this is what the page looks like. All of this content came from the PLR. This was an image. That's why it was a long image, but these are the lessons. So they know what's going to be in the 10 videos in the e-learning course. Now, I used the information to create, rather than a video, normally I would maybe put a video of myself or somebody speaking about the product. And I wanted to get this done for tonight, so I was in a hurry. But remember, if you take a look at that PLR that Shelley found, there was a little piece she'd never seen in the PLR, and I'd never seen in the PLR, and that was those Instagram carousels. I just took those images and did the same thing here, created a GIF of that slide presentation on those Instagram carousels. So I recorded it, turned it into a GIF, and used it as an image now on my sales page. So there's all kinds of value in these PLRs. Saved me a lot of effort about having to do that all myself. And it's kind of a double purpose, like I can still use that on Instagram, some of those images, but it's also a major component of this web page now.
Question real quick, Terri.
Yeah.
And again, I'm asking as if I'm a beginner. I know exactly what you're doing, and it's so easy. It's awesome. So when you were saying that you created, you had those images and you used a tool to make the gift, what tool did you use?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, I went back into using and used my gift zine because they have a little app in that I've been using forever. But you don't have to, you can do that in so many different places. I think Canva, you can do it now. I'm not sure. I think you can even create a gift. See, I'm trying to think.
Well, I do know they have in gift zine. They got some around. So hearing these things, it lets me know what a beginner is. You're helping me remember what beginners need to know, because speaking with some recently, they didn't know what a gift was, even though I did. We have tools, and if we don't have it, we can direct them to tools. You're speaking of that. So this makes it, again, line up to be so much easier.
Oh, yes. And it's so easy to get access to a lot of these things, even if when you're in that learning stage and you're not sure exactly, well, I don't want to go buy this tool, maybe I'll never use it again. There are a lot of times that you can just go in and you can learn how to do it, how to take a series of images and convert them into GIFs and slideshows and MP4s or whatever, by just using free access tools online.
Okay, I do have a question, because you would know. When it comes to our tool, we have that video funnel creation tool. Could it be possible that can be used to create a rotation similar to like what you just had?
I don't think that is the way it would work. I haven't tried, at this, I think it would be overkill.
Okay,
I
good.
think it'd be easier. I really honestly think it'd be easier. I'm not sure. There's so many different places where you can create GIFs,
Yes.
easily, that you could probably do it much easier without even.
Good, because I'm just trying to put to mind what tools we have in Builderall that may substitute for something. But as you said, there are some that are a lot easier to use that keep the learning curve down. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let me go back over here and we'll make sure I'm looking at the right one. Let me go ahead and close out of that. Okay, so once they land here on the deluxe e-learning, that's our core product. They're going to have that Actually, I probably should have just left that up, but they've got there's two buttons. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back up again. I shouldn't have closed it. If you'll notice, there's two options down here at the bottom, and they have the button which takes them to the e-learning course as a buyer, but we also have the no thank you. I will not have this. I do not want this. They're the non-buyer. And this is where they're redirected when they click here to the downsell. So we're going to click on it and see what happens. It says, wait, before you go. I did that as an opt-in because I just love that image too. And there's also, see here, a no thank you if they don't want to buy the audio. You've got to make sure that people have a clear way to exit pop-ups. That's important information to know for SEO purposes and for any kind of, you don't want any Google penalties. And that's one way that you get trapped if you don't have any way, you can get penalized in the search engines if you don't have an easy way for people to get out of pop-ups. So we have one down here, no thank you if they don't want to buy, and they can also X out. But let's go ahead and click on this and see if it takes us to the next stage in this. That's buying it. There, it brought up our checkout. This is for the $27 audio package. That's not exactly what I wanted it to do though, because let's see if, yeah, there we go. I wanted to change that and it didn't do it. This is the full checkout page of this funnel now. And that is the, yeah, Training Academy. All right. I kind of lost my train of thought here. All right, let's close out of this one. Hang in there with me, you guys. There's a lot of pages in this. Okay, so once they're in the deluxe e-learning and they've been to the audio package, if they've been in if they're a buyer of the deluxe e-learning, I'm going to immediately offer them the resell rights. I'm going to also work this into the resell rights into some other campaigns in the emails as well for later down in the campaigns. This is my strategy. I'm thinking about building this as I'm building this relationship. But for now, this will be enough for us in this training. So let's go and take a look at the resell rights. And this is the one-time offer for resale rights for all of the package. I didn't quite get all of my benefits listed, but I also added a panel here that shows all of the resources that are included from the PLR. Now, these are just right from the very same PLR that I've been pulling apart. These are literally screenshots, and then I created the compiled image once I got it here in this box, you know. So these are just screenshots, you guys. That's all those are. There's 3 screenshots and 2 images from the PLR, and we've got that panel. And then I also created a button here with, it's also always important to show people the license and the restrictions of how they can use the product. And so I did that with the pop-up button. And again, back to Google, I'm telling you, this is how I use Google and Google Docs. This is something that I can put a share link on that button and pop this up, and I don't have to worry about it. Then it, you know, like it's right there for everybody. So that's how I delivered that information. All of this information is important to at each step. And there's plenty more that can be added to these different pages, but this was a good basic beginning point for it, for this funnel, I think. Let me go back over here. Yes. All right. Now let's head back over our task list, because I wanted, let's see, there was one other, I think there was something else I wanted to show you. Like I said, I haven't completed my booking calendar yet, but I will do that. I will get that done. All right, that was it. That's what we haven't covered yet. I want to go back into Mailing Boss, because I want to show you the campaigns and show you how to add those campaigns, those emails that we just that we talked about earlier. We've got the pages built now. We've got the checkouts connected. So now we have to go back in and we have to load all those emails into Mailing Boss and get them working properly. Now, MB5 is coming along brilliantly. I did create a template to work on set, or halfway through the process, I said, why didn't I do a template? And I did one. So not all of the emails did I use a template, but on some of them I did. I want to take you over to that area so you can see where you do that. So right here is your campaigns, and you have an area called templates. And I created this template, or yes, Speak with Confidence template. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. You can see it's just got that purple background again, keeping the brand, a simple image that I created the template here. I don't have any real content. It's very, very basic. I wanted it personalized, so I put my image on it, a little bit of information about me, and then the system does the rest. So we have the template. How do you use it? Once you create the template, this is so easy. You just click there, and it pulls up. And let's say we're going to call this training email, just so I don't get confused. Now, this isn't a regular broadcast. This is going to be going out as a timed, an autoresponder. So we're going to click here, and we have to choose the list. We've already made our lists. So I'm going to come down here, and let's go ahead and do the public speaking. And then we're going to save it. So you see it pulled the template in right away. Boom. There's the template. Now you're going to have to pull in your sender email. All of these are verified ahead of time in Mailing Boss. So I can pull in let's pull in and make Terri at Builderall Guamo. This is my training account. And usually what I do, I'll either do no reply, or I'll just copy and paste that there, or whatever. I guess I put admin on this one. And then here's your subject line. And remember when we were going through, and how awesome is it now? All we have to do is come over here to our document, and we're going to find our subject line. We're just going to copy it. Back over here to Mailing Boss. Paste it. Now we've got the body of the letter or the email. I still call them letters. I'm going to go ahead and bring this in. Oh, yeah, there it is. Almost went into the next one. Copy it. This is a short email. So just jump in there and paste it. Now you see that'll happen, and that's just because I've got it in Google Docs, and I just go in there really quickly and take this extra space out. It's just the difference between you having it in Google Docs and formatted. But I don't find that too annoying, and it didn't take that much time. If I need to add a button or anything like that, of course, I can do that. I can pull those in. Let's add a button at the end, although usually it would come somewhere in the middle. So let's find it. There it is. I can pull a button in. Well, see if I can. Won't let me drop it. There we go. All right, I got a button in there. I can configure that button. I can continue to build this email out however I need to. Let's say I needed another paragraph or another body section. Where is that? Yeah, here's the text block. And I can continue copying and pasting. So you can see that it's really easy to create these emails and use these templates. And I'm just going to save that and pretend that it's done, because the next step in the process is doing your setting it up when it's going out. And this is after they've subscribed. And remember, this is the opt-in. So you've got your time value. On an opt-in, I want it going out right away. So I've got it set to 0. And I'm going to, right now, I'm setting this to minutes because I've got these set up for testing mode. So I'm going to change all of that, and it's going to be able to put out a lot of emails very quickly. I'm going to leave it in testing mode so you guys can try it out over the next couple days. And then you also have this send an email test where you can test your email before you even put it into testing mode. And I suggest you do that. And then you save it or save and activate it. I'm going to just save this because I've already activated all these other that I'm going to leave you with and let you guys test. All right, saved successfully. Just want to get out of there because I want to come back over here and just check to see if it recorded it and it got my campaign in the list. Let's see. Sometimes you have to refresh though. Maybe I didn't save it. I probably didn't save it.
Oh, excuse me, Terry. Ray Hines wants to know, how does it look like on mobile? I assume it'll take quite a bit of work getting the mobile version to behave.
Actually, I'm going to let you, I've already mobile optimize it. Let me come up here. I did mobile optimize these pages. So I'll let you guys, I'm going to leave you with these links so you can check them on your devices. I've only checked it on my device. And I want you to, let me come back in here and really look at you. When you're testing these, it's only been 48 hours since I started this project. So I've only tested it on one phone, mine, that's all. But I have mobile optimized it already, all of these pages in the Cheetah Builder, and you can let me know how they look on your different devices. But it was surprisingly how easy it was to optimize these pages. And here's why, because I kept them simple. I kept them short, concise, and simple. when you start adding too many things, fancy schmancy stuff in there, it's going to take you longer to get them optimized on mobile. So you'll notice that my designs are really simple, but they're easy to mobilize. Let's take a look at them really quick and show you even the one with, like, I think this is the most complicated one, probably, the resale rights. Let's take a look at it. I'm going to share it up, share my screen, and yeah, it's trying. Come on, you can do it. Let's take a look and see what it looks like in the editor on mobile. I was surprised, actually. That was a good question, because I think it was somewhere in the middle of the night. I started looking and I said, oh, I've got all this mobile optimization, but it optimized very easily. I'm going to close that panel out. And let me pull this up, because I could probably remember there was so little optimization to do on most of them. On this one, I think the only thing, come on, load. See how it looks. Yeah. Yeah, it's real basic. And I kept it really simple. I wanted, I think I had to hide one piece of text because it just looked funny. I think that was red on the purple. It just didn't show up well, so I hid it. And there's a lot of adjustments that I could go further and probably will with time on maybe fine tuning some text, depending on the devices. But really, right out of the box, it came out pretty well. I think I had to adjust. I finally decided I wanted all of these in a line, so it was like one big list with the images in the middle. And I had to move the books, the position of the books. And that's so easy to do with these, because it's just a matter of going up and down. But had it been a really complicated page, it would take longer. So that's one thing that I always stress is keep it simple when you can. On something like, I'll tell you what, I didn't have to do a thing, not one thing on, let me just leave out of this, on all the pages, on the first couple pages, because, they just came out fine out of the box. Let me pull this one up and I'll show you. Oh, maybe. Yeah. That's why this is that's one of those pages where all you have is one panel with a box in it. So it's going to be really super easy you're not even going to have to do anything. It comes out perfect. It all comes out that way. So when I'm designing, I'm thinking about that. The only thing I had to do was do a little bit of, I think, adjustments on the text on this page. Keep your pages shorter and simpler, and it'll go really fast. So that is a good question. I'm glad you asked that. And then I want you guys, let me know. I mean, if there's anything really, really wonky, of course, I'm going to want to know about it. But I was really surprised that it didn't take me that long at all. Let me go ahead and close out of that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at my list. We have covered all of that. Now, what I want to do is I want to add, oh, wait a minute, there's one other page I want to give you guys. I want to drop some links is actually what I want to do. And that way you can check out these pages. Let me stop sharing because I'm not sure. Let me find the, all right, there's my Tuesday night training document. And I'm gonna drop a link. Let's me share. And this is a Google Doc link, and it's just a page of links. What this is these are the links to the pages that the live links to the pages that I showed you tonight. That way you don't have to go through the shopping carts if you don't want to see what they look like. You're going to be able to access them with that. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Oh, where is it? There we go. Wild mouse. Here's the text to the documents. And that way you get all those page links. But I'm going to do one other thing. I am going to drop a link to the very first opt-in, because when you get a chance, you guys, in the next few days, I really would appreciate it if you go ahead, and I'm going to leave it on sandbox mode, testing mode. So it's not going to charge you. You can just go in, and let me show you how to do that so we can test this. So let me copy it. And this is the live link to the funnel itself. And then we're going to
I don't see any links, Terry. Have you got them in the Zoom?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, I was sending them all to Paul. Hey, Paul. Sorry. My eyes don't see too well. Especially after no sleep. Okay, everyone. So here we go. This is the link to the funnel. So the first one is the link to the funnel. Now I'm going to go back and get that other link and the Google Doc link. Maybe. Come on, mouse. See if this works. And then everyone. All right, there's your Google Docs links. Now let's go ahead, and we're going to, we've got that. Is that the live page I've got up on the screen? I'm not sure. Can't tell. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and show you me going through this funnel so you can know how you can go through Sandbox. Because if people haven't worked with Sandbox, I want to make sure you know how to do that, or at least see somebody doing it, because it's not going to charge you, but it's going to give us a chance to test the funnel. And boy, you guys, I tell you what, can't believe how many people I know that build stuff and put it out there and publish it and never test it. You got to test it, and you got to test it, and you got to test it, and you got to test it again. And then you got to get your friend to test it. And then you got to get your mom to test it. And you got to get your daughter to test it. You got to get everybody to test it, because there's so many different ways to, people can access these pages. You're not going to find everything until you get lots of people testing it. Plus, it's going to warm up your lists, and you really just need to. So please test. So here we are. Let me see. Let me share my screen one more time. And here's the funnel that I just dropped you. And I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can keep my eyes from blearing over. And let's put that in there. Probably already in there, but it's okay. Let's see if it works. Let's cross my fingers, because you never know. And come on. All right. So that takes me to, okay. Yes, I want it. So let's say I'm going to pay for this. I was already confirmed and in the system, so that's why that happened. So now when you are, oh yeah, see, it's got my stuff in there. Special offer, click here. What I want to let you know is when you're going through the funnel here, if some of you have never done this before and you're not familiar with the way sandboxing works, sandboxing is a sandbox we can play in, where we can test this situation. And it's going to let you go through the process of making these payments, but it's not going to charge your card. You can make it up, but you're going to have to fill in the form as if you were. It's not going to let you go further if you're missing something on the form, which means you're going to have to put in the billing address here. So I'm going to just put in an address.
Is that only for Stripe or is that for others as well?
It depends. I just usually do Stripe, and this is in my training account too. So I don't have PayPal hooked up in my training account. I just have Stripe. That's the reason I've got it on Stripe, but I usually just use Stripe anyway. Sometimes
Is that worldwide? Is that worldwide, Stripe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll check it out. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. It's you've got that option for Stripe right there in Mailing Boss and Super Checkout. I'm sorry. So when you're going up and setting up your product, you get the opportunity to pull Stripe in. Now you have to set up your Stripe account, but that's really easy to do. And then you just pull that Stripe account in, and that's the one I use pretty much all the time. Now on the for the card number, I just use the same numbers over and over again, and I'm making these up. Only you can't go into the past. You have to go, it has to be feasible. Let's see. So I'm going to have to do 24. Could be okay, I can make this up. Okay,
so Terry, it doesn't work in Jamaica for Cosmos. So is there something the same type of thing in PayPal?
Yeah, you can do a sandbox. Most of your payment processing places will have a way that you can create. It's called a sandbox, or enable sandbox mode on your.
Okay.
And when you have that enabled, then that means that nobody's getting charged, but you can test the payment processor out. That's what that sandbox mode does. So yeah, PayPal has it. I think most of your payment processors will have some kind of mode like that. They pretty much have to. But yeah, for sure, I know PayPal does. And you do that back in there in the developer mode section of your PayPal account when you're creating those keys to bring into Super Checkout. Maybe we'll do a training on that. I'll try to get that into one of my lives as soon as I can. All right, so, and you can see right here, it has the test mode enabled, but all right, so we've got everything filled out, and I'm going to pay. We'll only go through one of these because it's just the same as going through any of them. All right, so it sent me to my thank you page, which is OTO1. This is the next step in the funnel. So it did just exactly what it was supposed to do. Now we'll also have to wait, because remember in that in the entry point to the funnel, we're on that on your first entry point, we've got a sequence of 7 emails. Now I've got those set. I'm going to stop sharing because I've showed you everything I think you need to see. So when you opt into that, even in test mode, you're going to trigger 7 emails that are going to be sent to whatever email you put in. So put in a real email. Go ahead and put a real email in there so you can get those emails in your inbox, open them up, see what they look like, click on stuff if you want, but you'll get those sequences. And I've got those sequences set to where they're going to come like every minute in the queue rather than every day. So you don't have to wait a whole week to get them. You're going to get them all at some point. And one thing I want to suggest is, this is a brand new funnel, and I have someone, I haven't done a whole lot of testing on it, but if you don't see the emails, check in your spam and make sure you get it into the right inbox and whitelisted. But other than that, does anybody have any questions? I know it's been a long one. My goodness, it's almost 2 hours.
Got
Yeah,
a question.
sure.
Go ahead, Judy. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you're saying create a real email. So maybe if I created another email in Gmail, so like Judy's test emails or something at Gmail, and then whenever you test everything, it would always go into that so you could find it.
Yes.
Because when you have a lot of email addresses, it's not always easy.
Exactly. In fact, that's kind of like something we've got toying. The Mag 5 got toying in the background for one of our Tuesday night trainings. I don't know exactly when it's going to fall in the lineup because we've got a lot of stuff planned. But we want to do just a Tuesday night training on setting yourself up to test properly.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I think that'd be a really good training, because there are hacks like that, exactly like that, especially if you're building a lot of funnels, a lot of pages, doing a lot of testing, and that way, if you've got going into one thing, Shelly's got a really sweet little system, and she's got it all set up in RainLoop, all in one RainLoop account, and she can access.
Yeah, I was thinking of RainLoop because we use that for our domains, but it would be good to have it as a test one. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And she's got the main account, and then you can add other RainLoop accounts. So you've got all kinds of emails in the one account. So it really makes it easier. And we will, that's definitely on the agenda. Any other questions or comments? Terri, you said you said?
Yes, ma'am. 2 questions. I'll ask, when it comes to setting the choosing the time that you're going to send out the sequence, the time span between each one. Have you found that it's okay to put each one 1 minute apart as they go out, or is there a certain time span between the emails that you found that will work?
Well, I don't know. Normally this is just for testing mode in the minute apart. So I just kind of did that because I thought, well, at least who knows how long it'll take. It won't be a minute. It'll be longer than that anyway, because it takes more than that for a queue to fill up.
That's what I was asking.
Exactly. So I didn't really worry too much about that. I just wanted to make sure I got them queued and out so you'd have them in your inboxes. But it probably would be smarter to set them for 10 minutes apart, maybe, or something like that, to make sure you get them in order. Because sometimes I think it takes longer than 10 minutes for the queues to switch over when you're talking about the global queues. So that's a really good point you brought up, Terri. So I'm glad you mentioned it. So if you're testing your emails and they're coming out of order, that might be one of the reasons why. So just be aware of that.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, first of all, I do want to say this is like being in a workshop. I really appreciate this because you gave me the format from which I'm going to work within this, and I'll make that announcement tomorrow because Builderall has been patient. It has been so good. Okay, so when you oh Lord, I'm forgetting my thought. Okay, so Terry, I'll wait a moment. It'll
All
come
right,
back.
that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm in the same place to go.
Okay, it's back. It's back. It had to catch him. It had to go to another bus stop. Okay. So if a person is a beginner and they're seeing this, the time span to do this, would you say just basically on your professional opinion? Because we know it depends on the work ethic of an individual for them to get this done in a certain amount of time. So if an individual, a beginner, upon your professional opinion, spends about an hour a day, 5 days a week, that's 5 hours. Do you think that they can have a product like this done within 3 weeks? That's 15 hours, or shall I say 20 hours within 1 month, ready to go?
Absolutely. I think so. If you know, first of all, I'm going to put some caveats on it there. Like with anything you're going to build in Builderall, you got to have some basic skills. You don't have to have a lot. You don't have to know, especially when you've got training that you can follow step by step. But you're going to have a basic understanding of Cheetah and Mailing Boss. And if you've got that basics to where you're not getting really fumbled around or confused just about saying, well, what is Mailing Boss? You know, you at least have to know what Mailing Boss is. Yeah, definitely. You know, think about it. Now I worked pretty much, I wouldn't say around the clock, but I focused and worked hard, but within 48 hours, I built a funnel with 4 products in it, and let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 15 emails. And that was just in 48 hours. And I built the graphics, a lot of those graphics too. Of course, we started with that PLR, so I had a great place to start. So I absolutely, to tell you the truth, really, I'm putting myself on the spot here now. Now that I'm getting my system and a process down, like I showed you tonight, I would love to. I know it's possible to do one of these a week. I know I could. I'm going to go easy on myself. If I did 2 of these a month, and just 2 a month, putting these out, a year later, you've got a lot working out there for you. You really do. And on top of that, you're building an awful lot of brand identity and authority in your niche. So the key to it then is to keeping an eye out for great products like these, like in your niche, something that you love, and then just building it one step at a time. If you only do 1 a month, that's 12 funnels in a year. If it took you 1 whole month to do a funnel and really get it working and tested, and that's 12 products a year. That's enough to change your life.
Yes, thank you. You said exactly. God must have heard, God knew what I was thinking, so he must have telepathically sent it to you to speak it out. So thank you so much. You spoke exactly everything that I needed to have been said, so that my future people will feel confident and not be intimidated. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Terri. Yes. Ray, what can I get for you?
I have a couple of questions. The first one is about the frequency of the emails. Some of the systems that I have signed up for or been interested in, showed some interest, have jumped on me, and you've been jumped on before. I'm sure all of us have. And the frequency of the emails is irritating sometimes. I get one, or I'd stay away from that particular email. Maybe it's a test email account that I have. And when I get back to the test email account, I've been bombarded by the same sender, email 1, email 2, email 3, and within just a short time. And so my thought is maybe the bombardment of emails, several in a day, or maybe even 2 in a day, is too much. is, you know, if I get the email and if it doesn't go to spam, I'm going to read it or discard it, but I'm going to pay attention to it. And I don't need a second one right then to tell me, hey, you really ought to jump on this, you know, and it gets irritating. And sometimes it'll send people away. That's just my comment about the frequency of the email. But if you already have a sign up and you want to make sure that that sign up gets plenty of attention, you might want to, you know, give it a day, one a day or something like that. But you know, if I go away on vacation or just a weekend and come back and there's 17 emails from the same person, I know that he is mining the territory and he's trying to get things that are too good to be true. Maybe I'll just back away from that.
I have to agree with you, Ray. I'm totally there with you. I get bombarded so much. I have, you know, if I don't clean my email inbox out every week, it's 5,000 in it every week. And yeah, I feel the same way. Now, the reason I have 7 emails in that first sequence is simply because it's a challenge. I'm not selling anything. It's value oriented. Not even going to mention a product until the 7th email. And it's providing value. I really like what Shelley has said. You know, she prefers to do, you know, value offer. Otherwise, it's just nothing but a spam fest. So I agree with you. I can't tell you what the perfect frequency is. It certainly is. It's all depends on the community and the product and the offers. But generally speaking, I'm thinking that if I can do, well, depending on the niche, 1 or 2 emails a week for me is good. You know, I'm thinking that's plenty. Unless it's something really very specifically that I'm very tuned into and very active in, I'm just not going to get to it. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So that's a really something hard to call. But I totally agree with you, especially that first week. Now, I do think that it's okay to email every day if you're giving value. And then, but if you're going to do that, you got to make sure that what you think of value is the same as what your audience is thinking, which means it's got to be that 2-way engagement. It really has to, you have to be tuned in with them. You have to be asking them, which means that one of those emails better be something about asking for feedback or getting that feedback. Is this too much? Are you getting the value? What do you want to hear? So that's the key part of that. Other than that, I totally agree with you. I just, you know, I tune it out. It becomes annoying, and then I kind of like don't even want to look at it. So yeah.
I had one more question about Mailing Boss 5. I haven't gotten into Mailing Boss 5 yet, but your suggestion is to just bite the bullet and transfer everything and go with it.
Well, you know, there's no transferring because they're totally different systems. That's one thing I want you to, why I think it's a good idea to jump in now. Now, there may come a time where we're going to be able to move old Mailing Boss lists into the new system, but the developers don't have that there for us yet. So realize that you're going to need to create a new list in Mailing Boss 5 for any time you want to use it. It's not like you can move it over. Now, if you're wanting to move subscribers' names and emails into this, there's workarounds to that we could probably do. But at this point, you're going to have to start with fresh lists. And I totally think it's time to get in there and start creating lists, creating campaigns. About the only thing that, and using super checkout, all of that, the only thing that is a little wonky yet, I haven't found it really quite reliable to where I trust it enough to train on it, is using the workflows. And that's really, really close. And that really is a game changer too. So get back in there and get used to making your list, get to know where they are, where your sender emails are, how you create the forms in the new system. You're going to love it. I think it's a lot easier to understand and a lot easier to, get from one thing to another. So definitely jump in it. I'm excited about it. I know everybody will be too when they get in there and play a bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Anybody have anything else?
No, the only thing I got to say is now you mentioned about jump in. I've been playing around with mailing boss files, but now you just put Dallas Cowboys in timeout for the weekend because now I'm going to be doing that. I hadn't, so thank you. And I'm looking forward to doing it now. If I do have any questions, as you saw in our group in WhatsApp, I'm gonna ask, but if Jerry Jones calls me and asks why I'm not routine, I'm going to send him to you, okay?
Right, that's fine. You go right ahead. I got broad shoulders. I got broad shoulders and big feet. Frankie, do you have a question?
Yes. First, I want to thank you so much for the training tonight. It was very, very enlightening. My question is, if we wanted to use this exact same PLR and everything that you've got here that you presented to us, how would we do that? Would we need to go to and buy the PLR, buy it from you? What do we need to do to get it?
You know what you could do? You could just go through that list, that opt-in form. You can go through and make that purchase of that resale package. We can test it out. Now, I don't know if it's working because I didn't go that far in the testing, but you send me a message, Frankie, and we'll make sure you get that information, that all the product, so you can use it, because it's just a zip file. I'll send you the zip files, and you can pull it apart just like I did and do that. Yeah. So, because that's exactly how that big product, that resell product delivery, the deliverable on that product in this funnel is the same zip files that I got from Shelley, who got it from IDPLR, which I could have gotten from IDPLR too, because I have a subscription to that. So all you have to do, go through this funnel, test it out, and if we'll see if it works, but I'm going to write it down that Frankie wants that, and we'll make sure you can get that that content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I want to see what you build. I want to see you do it. But you feel better first.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other questions? Does anybody have anything else they want to say, or any questions that they have on their mind? Well, then this grandma is going to get some dinner and take a long winter's nap before she gets back into her next project for tomorrow. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. I really do appreciate it. We love Tuesday night trainings, and I really am glad you're here with me. And now I can't wait to see what you do. I hope I got some of you excited about Mailing Boss and PLRs. And don't forget, next week, Gene's going to go another step with this, because now he's going to not only show you how to make money and what we've done it now, he's going to show you how to get affiliates to sell the funnel for you. So, all right. Well, I guess it's good night, you guys, from Virginia anyway, and good morning to Judy, and good afternoon, or whatever it is over there.
Yeah, it's nearly lunchtime. Shelley's going to give you a big gold star when she sees this training. It was awesome.
Well, I hope so. I hope she thinks so too. I'm hoping that I can give her a big old gold star for having more fun than anybody can on a cruise, because I ain't never had too much fun, but I hope she is. So let's all hope that she's doing well, and I'm sure she'll have all kinds of stories next week. Thanks for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night and let Jean go to bed too. Thanks, Jean.
Thank you, Terri. Good night, everyone.
Good night. See ya.
Good night.
Good night.